The secret conversations we have with ourselves are far from just rambling. Self-talk is a potent tool for mental conditioning, known to significantly elevate one's mood, boost cognitive function, and cultivate an unshakable sense of self-assurance. It's the constant, internal coach that shapes your reality. Consider the perplexing moments of sleeplessness. An ancient piece of folklore suggests a beautiful, almost mystical reason for those late hours spent staring at the ceiling. If you are unable to sleep at night, it's a sign that you are currently an active character within someone else's dream. Your conscious mind is resting while your projected self is keeping another person's subconscious company. In matters of the heart, the speed of emotional commitment is often gendered. Research indicates that the male brain often processes the initial stages of attraction and falling in love with a surprising rapidity compared to their female counterparts. The consequences of modern high-paced living frequently manifest in our sleep patterns. According to behavioral psychology, consistently sleeping for less than 8 hours per night is a major precursor for emotional volatility. Younger individuals, in particular, who neglect their sleep hygiene, frequently report heightened irritability and can even develop symptoms consistent with depression. Our physical positions, especially in sleep, are often silent indicators of deep-seated emotional histories. The instinctive fetal position, sleeping with one's legs curled tightly to the chest, is frequently interpreted as a display of vulnerability and a subconscious yearning for protection, often linked to feelings of childhood fear or emotional neglect. Similarly, an exaggerated emotional response to seemingly insignificant matters, such as frequent and intense anger over minor issues, is often a psychological cry for attention. This type of overreaction suggests an underlying emotional deficit, a lack of perceived affection, and an intense desire for validation and love. Simple social tactics can have a profound impact on rapport. One of the quickest routes to building connection is through personalized attention. People are inherently drawn to the sound of their own name. Using a person's name frequently and naturally during conversation acts as a subtle psychological hook, fostering a quicker sense of warmth and affinity. The interplay between taste and smell is often underestimated. As a simple yet fascinating sensory experiment, if you successfully block your olfactory receptors while consuming apples, raw tomatoes, and onions, the perceived taste is virtually indistinguishable, proving that the aroma is a dominant factor in flavor perception. Contrary to the belief that sociability equals sanity, psychology offers a nuanced view of isolation. When an individual actively chooses solitude, not out of sadness, but as a preference, it's often a hallmark of high intelligence. These individuals often require less external stimulation and find greater intellectual satisfaction in their own company. However, the involuntary or prolonged social withdrawal, where a person forcefully cuts themselves off from social interaction, can occasionally signal a descent into the preliminary stages of emotional distress. When presented with a brand new writing implement and prompted to scribble anything, a fascinating universal tendency emerges. An overwhelming majority, approximately 97% of people, will automatically write their own name. It is a subconscious act of establishing ownership or affirmation. The abrupt termination of communication from a formerly close acquaintance is rarely the end of the story. If a person suddenly ceases direct contact with you, a common psychological pattern suggests that they have simply transitioned the conversation to another stage. They are likely engaging in dialogue about you with others behind your back. Want to know the secret to making someone think about you all day, or what your choice of footwear says about your character? If your goal is to occupy a dominant position in someone's thoughts, psychological timing is key. Engaging in a meaningful or compelling conversation right before a person goes to sleep ensures that the interaction is one of the last conscious inputs they receive. This primes their subconscious, making it highly likely that their mind will process and return to the subject, or you, throughout their rest cycle. Certain fidgeting habits can also provide a window into the mind. Frequent, often unconscious nose-picking may sometimes be linked to underlying nervous habits, or even a minor psychological coping mechanism. It's often a sign of mild anxiety, or simply a habit picked up during periods of deep concentration. Children's behaviors can sometimes be incredibly insightful. When a young child is observed spending time gazing thoughtfully at the vastness of the sky or the distant horizon, it is often interpreted as an early indicator of a romantic, deeply contemplative, and profound inner life. Our self-perception is often an inaccurate barometer of our true appeal. It's a well-established psychological fact that we are our own harshest critics. You are generally perceived as being noticeably more attractive, a few percentage points more, to the people around you than the image you analyze in the mirror. There is a profound, two-way relationship between giving and receiving. The same effort extended to help others inevitably creates a channel for one's own benefit. The hand that willingly gives is inherently the hand that eventually receives, either through direct reciprocity or karmic reward. Persistent, unnecessary movement of the hands and feet while seated, often termed fidgeting, can sometimes be an external manifestation of internal unrest, suggesting an individual is experiencing mild mental distress or high anxiety, in a surprising challenge to the notion that the face is the primary judge of character. A significant sociological study revealed that a majority of people unconsciously form their initial judgment of you based on your shoes, not your facial features. Footwear is often seen as a conscious choice that reflects status, meticulousness, and personality. A piece of harsh but memorable wisdom on family dynamics illustrates the difficulty of dealing with a thankless family member. An ungrateful child is akin to a painful, unsightly growth on a parent. Ignoring the issue leaves an ugly scar. Attempting to forcefully resolve it causes significant emotional pain. Be cautious of accelerated intimacy. Individuals who are exceptionally quick to establish a deep friendship or forge a close bond are statistically more prone to a subsequent betrayal. This rapidity can sometimes indicate a superficiality or a strategic social engagement. Conversely, if you find yourself frequently discussing a past love, it is a near certain psychological indicator that the emotional attachment, even if repressed, remains active. The profound importance of personal space and autonomy is often overlooked. The ability to retreat to one's own private space, the proverbial four walls, is often the essential foundation for personal liberty and self-discovery. An interesting, though somewhat unconventional, behavioral sign is the difficulty some people have walking comfortably in a perfectly straight line. This specific physical difficulty may, in some psychological interpretations, be an external sign of magical thinking disorder, a tendency toward believing in irrational connections. The timing of events, like the hunter and the hunted, follows an inexorable rhythm. When the time is right, the intended outcome, the prey, will naturally gravitate toward the source, the hunter, without undue effort. In a professional setting, individuals who consistently dislike interruptions while engrossed in work are typically superior performers. This aversion highlights a commitment to focus and deep work, which translates to high-quality output. Furthermore, an appearance by someone close in your nocturnal wanderings often suggests a genuine connection. If a familiar person features prominently in your dream, it is often a powerful sign that they were consciously thinking about you before they too drifted off to sleep. Do you know the secret link between deep voices and attraction, or how you can actually make an insult hurt someone more than they hurt you? Night owls and the kind heart. In moments of extreme hardship, the greatest asset is not material wealth but emotional resilience. Never allow yourself to be devoid of hope in the hour of adversity. It is the vital spark that precedes the turnaround. Those who naturally stay awake until the late hours are often found to possess a distinct mental profile. They are typically more creative, exhibit higher intelligence, and demonstrate superior decisiveness when faced with complex choices. A common but poignant psychological truth is that those individuals who maintain an outwardly kind, benevolent, and generous demeanor are often the ones carrying the deepest emotional scars. Their kindness can sometimes be a defense mechanism or a reflection of the care they wish they had received. The impulse to cling excessively to small, often trivial objects, like specific coins, keychains, or faded notes, can be a subconscious signal. This tendency is frequently interpreted as an adult manifestation of unresolved childhood emotional neglect or a lack of focused attention. A healthy, alert mind is often characterized by the speed of its reactions. If someone calls your name and you can immediately and accurately respond, even from across a room, It is a reliable indicator of strong, healthy cognitive function and quick processing speed. Conversely, the habit of frequently looking over one's shoulder while walking is often a nonverbal sign of insecurity and a lack of self-confidence. The key to lightening the burdens of life is to cultivate confidence in your private sphere, your inner world, before stepping out. Our past experiences are a heavy burden. When an individual does not carry the weight of their past failures or regrets into their present thoughts, their brain demonstrates a noticeable increase in activity and effectiveness, particularly during the late afternoon, specifically between 5 and 7 p.m. Vocal characteristics play a significant role in social attraction. Women frequently report being more attracted to men with a deep vocal register, as this trait is subconsciously linked to qualities like confidence, dominance, and physical stature. Furthermore, individuals endowed with a particularly acute sense of smell often possess a sharper, more refined overall cognitive capacity. The hierarchy of success begins with thought and ascends to action. Thinking well provides the foundation of good judgment. Planning well is an advancement in strategy. But the ultimate achievement belongs to doing well, which is the wisest and most valuable step of all. Fundamentally, your identity is not fixed but is a continuous process. You become what you habitually concentrate your thoughts upon. The psychological desire to be universally liked is a trap. A person who constantly attempts to please everyone often finds themselves emotionally drained and ultimately isolated. Their energy is too dispersed, and they fail to foster the deep, authentic bonds that true connection requires. A dark piece of folk psychology illustrates the tendency for self-justification. When a cat is motivated to consume its own young, it first rationalizes the act by asserting that the kittens physically resemble mice. This shows how the mind rationalizes harmful intent. Jealousy, often seen as a purely negative emotion, can also serve as a strange barometer of affection. Sometimes, an acute pang of jealousy is simply the brain's. There is a profound two-way relationship between giving and receiving. The same effort extended to help others inevitably creates a channel for one's own benefit. The hand that willingly gives is inherently the hand that eventually receives, either through direct reciprocity or karmic reward. Persistent, unnecessary movement of the hands and feet while seated, often termed fidgeting, can sometimes be an external manifestation of internal unrest, suggesting an individual is experiencing mild mental distress or high anxiety. In a surprising challenge to the notion that the face is the primary judge of character, a significant sociological study revealed that a majority of people unconsciously form their initial judgment of you based on your shoes, not your facial features. Footwear is often seen as a conscious choice that reflects status, meticulousness, and personality. A piece of harsh but memorable wisdom on family dynamics illustrates the difficulty of dealing with a thankless family member. An ungrateful child is akin to a painful, unsightly growth on a parent. Ignoring the issue leaves an ugly scar. Attempting to forcefully resolve it causes significant emotional pain. Be cautious of accelerated intimacy. Individuals who are exceptionally quick to establish a deep friendship or forge a close bond are statistically more prone to a subsequent betrayal. This rapidity can sometimes indicate a superficiality or a strategic social engagement. Conversely, if you find yourself frequently discussing a past love, it is a near certain psychological indicator that the emotional attachment, even if repressed, remains active. Raw, unedited way of signaling the depth of your emotional investment and care for the person in question. In social interactions, a quick wit is often a sign of high intelligence. People who tend to provide succinct, brief, and to-the-point answers generally demonstrate superior cognitive processing speed and often possess a higher intellect. Your mind is a highly obedient mechanism. It works exactly as it is programmed and instructed by your continuous thoughts and beliefs. When the natural order of power is reversed, e.g., when the powerful decline, even the weakest will challenge them. When the snake grows old and weak, even the frog will feel emboldened to tease him. The duration of a handshake can be telling. A person who is slow to release your hand during a shake is frequently an individual who possesses a high degree of self-assurance and a commanding presence. Early verbal development is a good predictor of mental strength. Children who begin to speak earlier in life are statistically predisposed to developing stronger, more robust memories later on. The act of smiling is a potent physical and mental medicine. It significantly boosts your energy levels, acts as a powerful enhancer of mental health, and actively reduces the risk factors associated with both cardiac episodes and depression. In life, it is crucial to remain adaptive. When you find yourself entering a system where the rules are entirely different, even if they seem strange, always seek the counsel of experienced individuals. Their value lies not just in their successes, but in their extensive understanding of the reasons behind their past failures. Counterintuitively, individuals who are more prone to crying, who allow themselves to release emotional pressure, are often found to be mentally and emotionally stronger than those who rigidly suppress their tears. Our emotional state dictates our view of the world. Happy people tend to apply a positive bias, seeing the world filtered the way they desire it to be. Conversely, sad people often view the world with a heightened sense of realism, seeing it as it truly is. When subjected to an insult, psychological warfare suggests a counter-tactic. If you react to an insult by simply smiling serenely, that unperturbed expression can inflict a profound emotional wound on the insulter, hurting them far more than any verbal rebuttal. Highly emotionally sensitive individuals, far from being weak, are actually incredibly strong because they possess a unique ability to connect deeply with every event and emotion, granting them greater depth and insight. The pain of social exclusion is profound. Being ignored by a person you hold in high regard registers in the brain with the exact same neurochemical signature as experiencing a genuine physical injury. Finally, minor forgetfulness is not a sign of a failing mind. In fact, a certain level of forgetfulness, the brain prioritizing what to discard, is often a byproduct of high intelligence. Prolonged loneliness should be considered a major health hazard, its impact being comparable in danger to smoking 15 cigarettes per day. And a final piece of advice on relationships: never oversaturate a relationship with excessive love or care, because people often fail to value or respect something that they perceive as being perpetually available and entirely free. Would you like me to take this rewritten script and format it for a video teleprompter, or help you find some stock footage clips that match these psychological facts?